So we've got everything we need to solder, and I'm gonna attempt to connect my first wires using the solder method and hopefully don't burn my house down. So let's see. Let's start on the GoPro and get that true POV and solder some wires. Some of the tools today are, of course, a soldering gun, some wire strippers, a piece of wire, 60/40 solder, flux, and some wire holders. Alright, so I guess we first start off. We're gonna get our little helper set up. Even comes with a little looking glass, which is pretty cool for magnification. Make sure you're getting it all. Gotta configure these before we can actually stick them together. As anyone who's done solder knows, you're gonna want to add some flux, help it bind, help it stick together, make sure it's nice and coated. And of course, we don't want to be touching any of this stuff. It is lead for one. So we are going to twist these together. Really got no grip here. Well, again, people, this is practice. And you only get good if you practice. So we'll set this up here. Okay. I see this starting to oxidize. That's quite different. You said feed under a little bit. Okay, it's still not hot enough. Well, he said to feed that on there a little bit just to help with as a pre. Wow, it's crazy seeing this thing oxidize, or whatever that's called. I said I just want to drip that. There we go. I found that heating point. I definitely should have done a better job at wrapping the wires together. I can tell right now this isn't good. We're gonna leave that like that, because it actually is legitimately covered in solder. So we're gonna see how good that's going to hold as far as crappy as that twist was, and see like how bad of a twist can we get away with soldering that it'll hold it together without ripping apart. Okay, it's been about a solid minute. I'm gonna see if that's long enough for cool down time. Oh wow. Oh wow. Wow. Damn. I can't. It's actually binded. Like, oof. That's pretty cool, man. First soldered connection. This thing, I mean, I could fucking try this as hard as I possibly could. This thing is not going nowhere. It was a shitty twist, but it's still, I filled it enough to bind it together and that thing is not going anywhere. So again, we're gonna try to go for a direct in the middle chop. Cool. We want even sieves. I'm actually going to try to, my hands have no grip from that flux. It's about the same. Okay, we've got decent size pieces of copper here, which should easily wrap around each other. I can't exactly remember the way that Chris Fix did it on his video, but even so, this alone is going to be a better twist and secure. One, they're not poked out as much, it's not as frayed. Do you see the different dimensions? How this is so wide out and this keeps skinny? Easily be able to put some heat shrink wrap over this. So I'm gonna go with that. And we are going to solder this together. Make sure that everything is tight. That's good. Now I know I could be using something else to do this. I know, I just have a Q-tip here and I'm gonna use it. So I'll get a brush that is designated for flux and using it. For right now, this is gonna do. And we're just gonna cover it pretty much the entire surface area because that's what helps it bind. Should be pretty good, at least. I would think that's enough. So here we are, round 2. Okay. Honestly, this is a pretty good, I like this tool because it actually holds it and I could just sit here and drip it all over and not have to worry about touching it so much. So that's nice. But I believe he said something about once you see it start clearing up, like it's melted the solder that's on the surface, to give it a bit more solder and feed it under so it's not bare. Could be wrong. Gonna hold this here. I could see that stuff start melting really quick. We'll feed a little bit under again. Ooh. Okay. At least that's just a flux dripping. I may have put too much. But here we are. Only 1 second, guys. Probably not ideal to do this and stop in the middle, but I want to get a different shot for the camera. Yeah, that's pretty fire. Little sketched out about having the camera this close to hot metal, but the things you do for views, for the shot. Trying to get this, there we go. Okay, so it seems like holding it in the middle is better to just displace that heat. Yeah, the middle seems to be like the money point. It's like coloring. It really is like coloring. I feel like I just need to cover all the copper, make it silver, and then you're done. Got a little drip there. I'm sure on the bottom side could probably need some as well. Yeah, bottom side is actually pretty good too. That's the bottom side. So I think it cools down pretty quick. Oops. Wow. Man, that is something else. I mean, these things are binded. There's no play, there's nothing, dude. This thing is legitimately metal welded. That's awesome. I love it. So here was the first attempt. Very shitty, very ugly. 5 out of 10. Second attempt, much better. Can be a little bit better. I'd give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. And then here's my example to Jane, showing her how to do it. Very shitty, very quick. Too small of wire, but still, nonetheless, inseparable. So we know how to solder now, boys. Let's go.